My friends, green challenges have been with us for a number of years. We talked about it yesterday on a couple of the presentations. Remember the 1.6-gallon flush toilets of 1992? Many consumers and contractors fled to Canada to be able to purchase toilets that could take care of business in just one flush. That challenge has been transformed, not only to a way to save water, but a way to bring new innovation and design and performance. And we saw some of that yesterday. And those changes may never have materialized had it not been for that challenge. We as an industry will continue to be bombarded with challenges to make more with less, to continuously improve in our waste reduction efforts, to use new materials for construction, and we're going to be asked to give back to the communities in which we operate, and we're going to be asked to do that on a global level. Water efficiency continues to be a key challenge in our industry. We at PMI have advocated timely changeovers to high-efficiency toilets in both California and Texas. We also pursue harmonization of codes and standards and are advocating a national rollout of the lead content reduction following the spirit of the recently enacted law here in California known as AB 1953. We do this with a keen eye on eliminating litigation-rich situations so that manufacturers and regulators can focus on making compliant product and on consumer protection. Manufacturers and legislators working together to protect the environment and public health. Now that's an example of an opportunity coming from what previously may have been considered a challenge by just about everybody involved. Aside from the challenges regarding water efficiency, there are new challenges on the horizon. NSF is working on a standard for gray water, something that we talked a lot about over the last couple of days. In multiple municipalities in Florida, 50 to 70% of drinking water is used for irrigation. These municipalities have started a program, it's been around for 10 or 20 years, where reclaimed treated water is returned to the community for use in irrigation. This water is offered at more than a 40% reduction over the cost of potable water. In this way, water is used twice, and challenges have become opportunities. So let me ask by a show of hands, without giving it away, who in this room knows who Gary Dahl is? Is there anybody? Think of 1975 in Los Gatos, California. Well, here's a big hint. Here's his picture and also his claim to fame. In April of 1975 in a bar, he came up with an idea. In August, he came up with his first sale. In October, he was shipping 10,000 units a day, and by Christmas, he was a millionaire. Think about it. People were willing to pay $4 to buy a rock that you could go buy in a hardware store for a penny. In 1975, if I had told my grandfather, who fed a family through the Depression, that I had bought a rock for a pet, which, by the way, I didn't, he would have picked up that pet and hit me in the head with it in hopes that it would knock some sense into me. Yes, it was a fad, but the point is that people had $4 to buy a rock. They had already eaten, unlike the generation that went through the Depression. Yes, there were challenges at the time. There was a significant economic downturn, and it had hit the country just a few years earlier. There was disillusionment regarding the Vietnam War and the Watergate scandal. And of course, there was the rebellion of youth. Many of us in that room were part of that rebellion, or in this room. There were a lot of changes and reasons for people to give up. But did this guy, Gary Dahl of Los Gatos, California, give up? He figured out a way to make $1 million, a dollar at a time, in a couple of months. Did I tell you earlier how much I love this country? Although the circumstances and the times were different, the challenges today are not much different than they were in the 1970s. Aside from the challenges that I've outlined above, there's lots of other reasons for us to fold up our cards and go home. I've already noted that manufacturing jobs are down by 8 million in the last 30 years. The U.S. economy seems to be funneling money either to China or Saudi Arabia or both. Unhappy at the rate of debt generation, the American electorate chose a new president who promptly quadrupled down on the debt bet. Some say now that our healthcare system has been nationalized or that the government is overtaking everything, all kinds of drama. Here in California, your governor was elected to essentially kick the bums out. And now at the end of his second term, your state's almost bankrupt. The income tax that Californians pay is over 9%. Although my home state of Illinois is far from the picture of fiscal responsibility, I think most of our governors are either in jail or on their way, my state income tax is 3%. So what are we going to do? Are we going to cry? Are we going to yell uncle? Or are we going to give up? Personally, I want to be like Mr. Dahl, and many in our industry feel the same way. Thus, many of the products coming to the market in the green movement meet these challenges. Through this experience over the last 20 years, our industry is well adept at understanding the needs of customers and consumers. Not only do we understand their needs, we understand their unmet needs, and we do our best to understand their unrealized needs. These dozen or so products are opportunities that fit that mold. The primary example of success in the green movement, as it is applied to our industry, is rooted in the green building movement. And these are the things that you will find in a LEED Platinum home. The overriding point that I want to make today is the nuance between two words, and those words are and are. Understanding this nuance is huge when it comes to success in the marketplace. We started out today with the title, The Green Movement, Challenges and Opportunities for Manufacturers. And where we end today is the green movement challenges are opportunities for manufacturers. To use an old metaphor, one has to be good at making lemonade to know what to do with lemons. My friends, challenges have been present with us for a long time. They come every day. Now, whether that challenge is a new class of consumers that require you to understand them in a way that was not required before, or it's a new consensus standard that regulates products or performance or materials, or it's politically driven public perception, it really doesn't matter. There are always challenges. For those of you that would like to see these opportunities in action, I suggest that you Google the LEED Platinum home of Scott and Linda Phillips, located at 723 Spring Street in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Scott and I worked together in the home building industry for a number of years. This is an example of opportunities that are here for manufacturers, and they're already in the green building industry. The reason I chose this example is because it shows the end result. Consumers willing to pay for a home that uses 1/10 the energy of a comparable home. This fits the definition of a green opportunity. If you look at Scott's house, it's not a greenhouse, it's a beautiful house. And you don't know what its capabilities are in terms of energy efficiency or water efficiency until you go in and you ask. And it's something that consumers want. Opportunities rarely present themselves with a clear path to victory. Think about it. Mr. Dahl had this opportunity. He was an unemployed advertising executive in a rural part of California, in a bar, lamenting with friends about how difficult it was to deal with pets. Think about that situation. You saw the guy's picture. Would you hire him as an advertising executive? And he's in a bar talking about how he doesn't like to pick up poop after his dog. Now, that does not present itself as an opportunity. That's the definition of a challenge. But yet, he used his skills to address his challenge and find his opportunity. So one more time, that's what I love about this country. Thank you very much.